Hello everyone, and welcome to a special video for the 4th of July celebrations. I hope all of you out in the States are having a good 4th of July. As you can probably hear, to set the scene, we're down on the ground in a early morning Atlanta, and we're going to go over to Washington Dulles. As you can probably tell, we're in a A320 today, not the regular 73. I think someone pointed out recently, oh, you always fly the 73 on the channel. Well, yeah, with good reason, because generally it's such a realistic aircraft that we have access to, and the freeware just don't always live up to the same standards. The flight management system that we use, FS Tramp, is not quite as accurate, but it's nice to jump in them every now and again, and the A320 is probably one of the best freeware aircraft that we have available to us. So here we are in the United A320 IAE livery. This particular aircraft, November 406 Uniform Alpha, is almost...
122.80.
Well, thank you, First Officer, for getting me set onto Unicom. That is most useful, but not really what I was aiming at. Now, this particular aircraft, is what I was going to say, November 406 Uniform Alpha, is almost 30 years old. So it's a pretty old A320 with the IAE engines, and we're going to be taking the about an hour and 20 trip down to good old IAD Dulles, Washington, and we'll see what happens. We are on Vatsim, as you can probably hear. There's some traffic taxiing beside us, and we're also going to be using Pro ATC so that we actually get some ATC along the way, because it is early morning in the US, as I say. Alexa, what's the time in Atlanta? 7:55 AM. So there is no ATC on Vatsim, which is, you know, perfectly understandable. And we are currently at gate Delta 10, and I'm just going to get our OFP with the real world routing. The real one cruised at 350, so we'll see what this one expects us to cruise at. And like I say, about an hour 30 flight, or hour 20-ish. And yeah, I'll be back in just a second once I've fixed this up. Alright, as you can probably hear, the Southwest next to us is getting ready for departure. But we are going to jump into the aircraft and begin our setup. So it's a lot quieter, and everything is cold and dark, as you can see. So we're actually using First Officer Light today, so we can actually just open the main cabin door, and he will begin shortly his setup process. Now, you can of course do this manually. It's really quite simple in a freeware aircraft, but it is nice to have a First Officer that should just jump in and do this for you.
Good afternoon, Captain.
Battery master active.
Alright, so he's turning on the battery and firing up the APU. Since we don't have the GPU in the freeware, it doesn't really matter. And we can also begin our boarding process, which I'll show you through, I don't have it open, but we will have shortly, Pack X. So here's how you do this: start flight, and it loads from SimBrief, UAL 289er. 35,000 is the cruise, 1 hour 16 minutes is estimated. You go next. You can choose your passenger numbers. It's estimating 105 passengers, so we'll leave it at that. I don't know if they use Wi-Fi, I'm not sure, so we'll just leave that unchecked. We may have some, we do have some United boarding, and we also have a United Airbus demo, and we will not serve meals. Customs card is not required and the flight number does not continue. So we will begin that process whilst we deal with the rest of this. First officers set our QNH to 1020, and he's gone for the walk around. So the first thing we can look at is to do our weight and balance on this OFP, so let's scroll down. So Pittsburgh is going to be our alternate airport if we need it, and 350, as I say, is our cruise on the 4th of July 2022, departing 12:15 UTC, airtime 1 hour 17 minutes, block fuel 17,056 pounds. So very useful feature of TFM for the freeware is we can type that in, hit calculate. It's going to tell me overweight, I'm aware. That is the southwest traffic taking off. But you can see that it's calculated, TFM has calculated the relevant fuel. So we have no fuel in our center tank. We have left main, so 56% in the left main, be 56% in the right main, and then the left and right auxiliary tanks are both also filled. The next thing we need to do is go and look at our takeoff weight, which is 137.2. Now currently we weigh gross weight 137.3, so we're actually bang on, so I'm going to leave this. We're pretty light today out of a possible 167. So that TFM overweight thing was an erroneous warning. That was not relevant to us. Okay. I'm actually going to leave that alone then. And what I'm going to do here is begin Pro ATC. So I'm going to use COM2 122.8 so we can hear Unicom. And I'm going to leave COM1 active, but I'm going to do .com both for now, and you'll see COM receive both now on, so I can still hear Unicom. There's really no one around other than that other southwest guy, but we'll use that, and that way I'll be able to hear Unicom and have the actual ATC working for us on Pro ATC here. Let's make sure we are on the right flight plan, which we are. Last one in the list, and we'll hit fly now. Just going to come up with a couple of screens here. So we can switch to ATIS if we want. 119.65. 119.65. Is that going to do anything? Interesting.
Welcome to the PRO-ATC/X-generated flight from Hartsfield Jackson ATL to Washington Dallas INTL. Active frequency clearance delivery. Please switch to ATIS 119.65 if you want to listen /radar. Key settings 4. Request 1. Confirm 2. Say again 3. Main 8 FS Pro ATC system brief. Copy ACX Lockheed Martin Lockheed.
Hold on,
perhaps. 1. Request clearance 2. Say again 3. Checklist menu 4.4. Flight plan information 4.5. Other request 4.6. Other options 4.7. .8. .9. .10. Close window 0.
Okay, so the ATIS doesn't seem to be working, but we're not too worried about that. What I am going to do is get a weather request.
As 3D weather request, please select an option 1. Current active weather 2.
Reports look pretty good.
So he's going to do his stuff.
1. Blank. WX report of current position local conditions at surface of 1204Z1, wind 273 knots 2, visibility 1.0 SM, 1609 M3, clouds, overcast 347.34, temperature 22.95, dew point 21.96, precipitation, none reported 7, altimeter 1020 millibars, 30.13 inches 8.9.10, back.
So I'm just going to go...
Dash.
Oops, didn't mean to hit that.
0.
Go
Blank.
back.
As 3D weather request, please select an option 1, current active weather 2, closest station weather 6.
And it's 6 to close it out. So the things to note there were no precipitation, but the clouds are incredibly low. It looks like a cloud base of about 300 feet and very low visibility. So Yes, that's to be noted.
V-pilot, one column, V-pilot, tab control, edit blank.
As you can see, yeah, no ATC.
Locky mark, lock.
So what we will do is just pull up a notepad file, and we are expecting Pro ATC to give us, and this is the real world routing, the JAX2 with the Kellen transition. So let's go here, let's go request clearance. And oh, actually, it's not on clearance frequency, which is
in flight menu 1, request clearance 2, say again 3, checklist menu 4.4, flight plan information 4.5, other request 4.6, other options 4.4. Flight plan information 1, Calcin and flight no, United Airlines, UAL,
find this out.
2, frequency to set, 118.10, active.
118.1.
Select 1, 8.1, Lockheed Martin, com 1, 118.10, com 2, 122.80.
There we go, so we're still on Unicom on there.
Blank.
And
in flight menu 1, request clearance 2, say 1.
try request the clearance again.
Railway Pro ATC /check, locks and brief, untitled note, Atlanta line.
And this should work.
Calculator FS time. FS calculator.
So JAX2, Kellen, 26 left.
Untitled brief.com, dispatch output, railway 1, column, untitled note, line, 1, 2, 0, 0, 0.
5004. Yeah. So I'm not going to write down the departure, we know that. So yeah, JAX2 Kellen. 350 and 10. 2565 for departure. And we can already squawk 5004. Alright. So we're over the ground and we will get ready for pushback, but we're not ready for that yet.
5,000, 12,000, 12,000.
So we just need to remember, I'll leave that open, we just need to remember that our initial was 2000. And you heard there, you could still hear Unicom, so while we were getting clearance there was some guy talking on Unicom, probably that Southwest, and I could still hear him. So this is actually a really nice way to have a mix, I find, to have, you know, if control were to log on, then, well, that's fantastic. You can just ditch Pro ATC and say, okay, we don't need you anymore, off you go, we'll use Vatsim. But in cases like this where it's an early morning and you might want to fly on Vatsim as well, you can do that and use Pro ATC. It's a little bit complicated to set up though. Right, anyway, enough about that. We've set up our weight and balance. FS Tramp is what we need now. And we're going to go to departures, and we're going to go to the JAX2, and she's doing that. Scroll here, 26 left, with the Kellen transition, and I'm also going to just seatbelt signs on. Let's do that so that we can start getting passengers seated. Anyway, so the departure briefing, 275 to MPAS, and then we make a right turn toward MPAS, so they'd say probably RNAV there. We got direct to Zelen, speed restriction 250 knots, which is what we already know, that's below 10,000 of course. Direct to Smog, direct to Jax, cross Jax, and then Short, Buffett, and Kellen.
Laptops, tablets, and any other larger electronic devices are stored once we depart. Thank you and welcome aboard.
Turn that guy up actually, so I can hear him a little bit better in case there's any something happening with my audio. That's okay. Turn it down in here, maybe like there. So here's what we can do now. If I want to transmit on COM2, I don't believe this will work until I actually activate it. Let's try it. Atlanta Traffic United 289 for a radio check, please. Yep, so I don't believe that worked, but if we go .com2, we are now on COM2, not COM1. No, Atlanta Traffic United 289, good morning. A radio check, please, anyone?
He's 5 by 5.
Thanks. Alright, cool. So he got us.
Edit blank.
So now, perfect. So that's how you do it. Then we go .com space
Space 1.
1
Edit 12 hours, 9 minutes and 45 seconds from 1 active.
back on COM1, which is our Pro ATC frequency. But so when we need to make our calls here for pushback, I'm just gonna go to COM2, make the call, and yeah. Let's turn him down a little bit more, but now we've fixed that volume. Twiddling with the volumes. I bet the real world pilots don't have to do this, do they? So I get in the plane. Hey guys, ATC's blaring. We've got to turn it down. Yeah. Okay. So we did that. Now we need to go to Tramp and make sure that our plan profile is set up in the aircraft. So no, it thinks we're flying as a Cessna. As I say, Tramp has its quirks. Here's the A320. We can climb at about 2,800 feet a minute at about 310 knots. We're going to be cruising 350 at Mach decimal 78. And we will leave the descent at 2,000. Touchdown can be 150 knots. And that is all good. Now they are still boarding over there, so we may as well see what we are planning for our arrival and just put it in. We might get a different one from Pro ATC, but it's a short flight, so let's do it on the ground, shall we? Scroll down to our... Actually, no, let's use this. Where are we? Oh yeah, it's a bit above here. So you can see 26 left. Yeah, okay. We can actually go check the real world ATIS as well in a minute and see what they're actually using. So let's go do that actually before we do anything else. So live ATC, USA, Atlanta, and ATIS. Open with VLC, and we should be able to listen in. There we go.
Bird activity vicinity of airport. Dot fly Romeo closed west of taxiway R3 for air traffic with wingspan greater than 214 feet. Operate transponder with nose Charlie on the ramp. Taxiways and runways advised. On initial contact, you'll have information Papa.
Information Papa is current at the real airport.
Atlanta Airport departure information.
So I'm just going to let it play again. Here we go.
Wind 280 at 3. Visibility 1. Light drizzle, mist.
Light drizzle, misty, yeah. And the ceiling's 400, there you go. 24 degrees.
Altimeter 3015. Remark. AO2. Surface visibility.
Now I just want the runway.
Drizzle began at 17. Sea level pressure 200. Ceiling variable between 300 and 500. Papa 00600070005.
Can you just give me the runway, please? Never mind all this nonsense.
233353018. Simultaneous
Here we go.
Departed runways 26 left.
26 left. 27 right. Yes. Okay.
Expect our nav off the ground. Departed runway 26 left. Expect our nav off the ground.
Perfect. And whilst we're here, KIAD. Don't actually have an ATIS on this. Let me. I'm not sure whether maybe there isn't one available. Let me go to live ATC here. KIAD. Blah 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 blah. Approaches. Yeah, there isn't an ATIS. We might as well see what runway they're landing on by tuning into the final approach frequency, if that's going to work. So we'll leave that up and just see if we can hear anything. But for now, we won't worry about it. We'll just go with what we get given by Pro ATC. So we're expecting one right via the Cavalier 4 Doran transition. So let's go program that in. Yeah. Okay, and we are taking the approach. So we have a vectors, and this is why I'm using Pro ATC, because if we didn't have ATC log, after Cohen's you follow heading 010 to manual termination, or otherwise known as vector, and you will get vectors. So if you don't have ATC, well, you are pretty much on your own to try and follow in the approach. So this is why I'm trying this.
Level 1 collapse 107. Lock collapse 2 miles. Expand level 2 miles 01 C150. CSM.L01L315 level CSFR01R515 CSM.L01. Miles 12 8
Alright, apparently we are ready to push. So we are not quite ready, but we're almost ready. So I'm just going to quickly, you know what, we'll brief this arrival in the air. Save us some time, we'll brief it in the air. Doesn't matter. Alright, we'll deal with that once airborne. Close the doors. We're not hearing anything on that ATC, so let's just junk it, doesn't matter. Pre-flight checklist.
Pre-flight checklist.
Alright, we're going to do you.
Oxygen. Tested. Initial reference system.
Good morning, ladies
Yes,
and gentlemen.
hydraulic panel. Set. Packs. Set. Window heat. On. Flight instruments. Heading set. Altitude set. Throttle. Close. Fuel control switches. Cut off parking brake. Set. Checklist complete.
Alright, pre-flight checklist is complete. She's doing her thing. We're going to go and do our briefing. Import this. Perfect. Actually getting some light drizzle, you might be able to hear it. Set up our expected approach, just so we do that. Get weather, yes please. It's 11,500 feet that runway, so that should be good. Anyway, we'll just close that out, so at least first officer knows what we're doing. Before start checklist.
Before start checklist.
I'm gonna run down before start here.
Close. Fuel. 7736.
That is kilograms, so 7.7 tons, and
Set takeoff thrust. Set takeoff speed.
1756. So fuel is checked.
Completed. Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Is complete.
Completed. Beacon light. On. Checklist complete.
Okay, I'm not sure if he was going to do a flow. No, I don't believe he is. Right. Oops, my something got held down there on my keyboard. Anyway, so we are going to push to the right, nose to the right. Probably about well, south-ish. And we're pretty much ready, so let's call this tug. We will. Okay, we'll just choose Alliance ground. Doesn't really matter. And just for our reference, yeah, there's no aircraft around here. There's just that southwest sky from earlier. So yeah, really nothing to concern ourselves with. We may as well request startup and pushback.
Request startup and pushback.
United 289, startup and pushback approved.
Approved. United 289.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Yes, we are. Make sure tramp is in. It's actually an M2, so obviously we're going to want to change that to M1. So takeoff mode. Go. He's locking the gear. Yeah, nice view of him. So we're doing those right.
FX Tram Form 1 roads and brief.com. Vpilot Go 1 call Vpilot. Tap dot CO M.
I don't know if you can do a hotkey for this, that might actually be really useful, but anyway. Under traffic, United 289 pushing stand Delta 10 to the south. Okay.
Tap dot CO M. Space 1.
Release parking brake.
Let's go. Didn't really need to make that announcement, to be honest, because there's no one around, but there you go, we'll do it anyway. For the practice, I guess. And we can begin the startup of these IAE engines. And the safety video should also begin, and we will get prepared for departure here. Should be pretty soon.
Welcome aboard.
Number 1 ignition on.
Bienvenidos a bordo.
Engine 1 cut out.
Number 1 starter off. Number 2 starter engaged. Number 1 generator active. Number 2 fuel valve open.
Thank you for flying United today. We appreciate your attention as we demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. Please switch all smartphones, tablets, and e-readers to airplane mode, or disable cellular technology for the duration of the flight. For taxi, takeoff, and landing, smaller personal electronic devices must
Number
be
2 ignition on.
secured,
Engine
and
2
larger
cut out.
laptop computers must be switched off and
Number 2
secured.
starter off. Number 2 generator active.
For international destinations, your flight attendants will
AD
advise
shutting
if
down.
it's necessary to turn off and stow your device. Whenever the seatbelt sign is on, your seatbelt should be fastened low and tight across your lap. To fasten, slide the metal end into the buckle. Tighten by pulling the loose
AD
end of
shut
the
down.
strap. Lift the buckle to release. We
All
suggest
engines
you
stable.
keep your seatbelt fastened at all times, even when the seatbelt sign is off.
Okay, so we almost have 2 good engines here.
You may be required to
IAEs, of course, do take a little bit longer to start up,
Reset parking works.
and the pushback is complete.
185.
Yeah, we're pretty much pushed back right
Taxi with ATL. GSX
on the
captain.
taxiway somewhere.
exit doors, two on each side of the aircraft. When open, slides will automatically inflate. There are also 2 window exits over the wings, which can be opened by removing the cover and pulling down on the marked
Taxi on.
handle. When open,
Taxi lights
slides
on.
will automatically inflate.
Flaps set to 15 degrees,
Don't use the exits over the wings unless advised
or
by
position 2 I believe, although we're going to have to reset those when we enter the runway because they will
the aircraft. Leave all carry-on bags behind.
retract when we reposition.
Illuminate and guide you to the exits. Each of the 6 exits is marked with an overhead sign. Please look around now and locate the 2 exits nearest your seat. The closest exit may be behind you. If necessary, an oxygen mask will drop from above your seat. Firmly pull the mask to extend the plastic tubing and start the flow of oxygen. Place over your nose and mouth.
GSX to truck disconnected. Bypass bin removed.
Over your back and tighten the straps. The bag may not inflate while oxygen is flowing. Make sure your mask is secure before helping others. You'll find a life vest under or near your seat. When directed, pull the tab to remove the pouch. Tear it open, remove and unfold the vest. Slip it over your head. Pull the straps from the back and attach the hooks to the ring in front.
GSX left is clear. Right is clear.
Straps are weak to your body until they are tight around your waist. This aircraft is also equipped with infant life vests, which will be distributed at
In flight menu 1, request taxi to runway 21.
And request
prior to exiting the aircraft by pulling
United 289. Taxi volume to runway 26A.
If additional quotation, pull the second red tab.
Via Echo.
You can also
so we're cleared to taxi by Echo 26 left. Of course we can't actually do that, so
It is against
it's just going to be a case of repositioning
or destroy
in a second.
For your safety, you must follow the instructions of our crew members and obey posted and lighted signs. We'll be taking off soon. Your tray table, carry-on items, headrest and footrest should be stowed. Make sure your seat back is upright and that your seat
We got a front seat today with the engine view. We're in the front of the cabin. That's what you're hearing and what you'll hear on departure. It's a long runway, so we'll use a D-rated thrust setting of about 85%. And of course, we've got to remember 12,000 was our initial altitude.
Thanks again and enjoy your flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Please make sure your seat backs are in the full upright position. Tray tables put away and seatbelts securely fastened. For those of you in first class, please make sure your headrests are completely down for taxi, takeoffs, and landings. Once we take off, I'll tell you about our flight. Thank you and welcome aboard.
Alright. So we're about ready here to get lined up. We just got to go make our Vatsim call. Line of traffic, United 289, push back off Delta 10. We're going to be making the reposition over the runway 26 left for departure with the Jax 2 inability to taxi due to visual impairment. So any aircraft approaching or on 26 left currently, give us a shout and we'll hold the position for you. Right, so obviously always very important you make that call. Even if you don't make the pushback call, make sure you do that. Even if there is there's no one around, or it seems like there's no one around, there's just no excuse for not making that call, and then you are always in the right as a blind pilot. If you make the call and say you're repositioning and just give it a minute, then you're always in the right. If someone else then comes back at you and says, you know, oh, you repositioned, you shouldn't have repositioned, you know, I was on the runway, well, I'm sorry, that's too bad. They should have been listening to Unicom. That is a Vatsim requirement. If you're not listening to Unicom and actively reporting your intentions either via text or voice, then you are in violation of the code of regulation, and you know, then they're in the wrong, and any supervisor should see that. Right, the cabin is ready. We need to go to .com 1 again, just so we can use Pro ATC. Let's reposition here. There we go. On runway over the tower 19.1. Flaps need to go back to where they were. Runway guidance on. Oops. Contact these. Request takeoff. Make sure our flight controls are all good and centered. Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist.
Strobe on. Landing on.
Make sure our strobe and landing are on.
Checklist complete.
Taxiway ATL.
And we're actually on taxiway Echo here, so I'm just going to pull forward a little bit because we need to actually get on the runway.
Runway 26 ATL.
It's better. Still raining on us. Getting the airplane washed. Alright.
Parking brake on.
We'll make a final call on Vatsim. United 289 departing 26 left Atlanta. I really need to see if there's a hotkey for this COM 1, COM 2 bloody thing, but anyway. They told us to line up. I guess we're still... Oh, we're still waiting for them, or maybe we can just go. I think we can just go. Pro ATC will catch up. We're not waiting for them. There's no traffic around. So yeah, we're going to do 85% thrust, as I say. Yeah, let's see how this goes, shall we? So, alright, parking brakes released. Thrust levers to about 50. And we'll use TFM to enter about 85%. And takeoff thrust is set.
Thrust set.
Give it a little bit of left rudder.
33 knots.
Keep us on the runway.
Speed alive.
Listen to those engines roar.
Speed brake on.
Get my FS tram window ready.
70 knots.
80 knots.
80 knots.
80 knots. Autopilot engaged, and that will help us do the rotating and departure. 700 feet a minute is set.
150 knots.
Rotate. Stop reading those things. Thank you.
133 knots. 140 knots. 146 knots.
Airborne.
Positive rate.
V2 gear coming up. Landing gear. There we go with the lever. Auto throttle engage.
Heading select on.
It's going to ignore my power setting and increase the power, but that's okay. Runway guidance can now go off, and we're increasing through 400 feet, 160 knots.
174 knots in the beat. 2,100 feet, 178 knots in the beat. Flaps 50.
We'll go flaps. Position 1.
2,000 feet.
Speed check.
And flaps look like they're going to come up in a second.
Flaps
up.
Flaps are up.
110 knots in the beat.
Do 210. And we'll say that's climb power that it's set there.
Acceleration altitude.
Yeah. Passing, let's see here.
1,770
It's
feet.
1800 AGL. It's all good. After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear. Up and off. Flaps. Up. No lights. Checklist complete.
And we'll check in with departure. So I'm going to turn Pro ATC off a bit. So we're climbing to 12000 here, which is what we already knew. So we'll go here, set 12,000. I'm at 2200 right now. It's probably because of I don't know if we have any, actually, yeah, let's climb this at about 2800, that'll help us out a bit. Aiming for 240 knots. I think we need it to be 250 actually soon, so I may as well increase that to 250. This plane's usually pretty good about holding speed, so I'm not too worried. And yeah, out we go. Very nice departure. Off we go to Dulles, ready for the 4th of July celebrations. That sounds good, doesn't it? Just shows you, freeware can definitely sound good. Maybe not PMDG good, and maybe not as good as the Payware Aerosoft, but it can still sound very, very good if you get a good sound pack for it. And this one is a particularly good one, so yeah, no issues with this one for me. No issues at all. Very happy with it. It sounds incredibly realistic. Like I said, you can really hear the engines because this is a simulation of being sat right at the front of the cabin over the wings, or not over the wings, sorry, or just in front of the engines, I guess. You've got a front seat. So. All right, we're now inbound Smog, which was a waypoint on the departure. Climbing a 12000. Of course, as I say, in the US, transition level is 18,000. That's always where you... Right, level 210. So yeah, you always reset your altimeter passing 18,000 feet, and then it becomes flight level. So we were climbing to 12000 or 12,000. Now we're climbing to flight level 210. It's just generally how it goes. Alright, passing 10,000, yeah, landing lights can go off. And we can increase the speed to about 310 knots and just get this thing to increase. Now we're through 10,000. We'll just lower that nose a little bit to about 2,400 feet a minute. And we can probably also release the passengers. Seatbelt signs off. Yeah, it's nice and smooth. No turbulence, so they can all just begin to roam around. They'll be happy about that. And we're well on our way up to 350. And we are inbound. Let's have a little look up here. Smog. And yeah, we're on a heading of about 099 approaching Smog, so Champ is doing its job regarding lateral navigation. Alright, so we're now inbound Jack. Alright, we're now going over to Atlanta Center, 2705. And he should, yep, he's now handling the comms automatically for me, which is very nice.
United 289, roger.
So as I've said many a time, Pro ATC for procedures, that's why I use it. Okay, so PF3 is the other one, and PF3 as an ATC add-on is really good for voice sets and ambience, but for procedures it does not link up to Navigraph, whereas Pro ATC does. So it's a lot better if you want to practice procedures, get vectored, or learn an airport environment. It's a lot better. There is a new one, this FS HUD program, which we'll have to try at some point. And I'm just going to reduce our rate of descent, our rate of climb to 1800. Oh, here we go. There's 350, okay. So we can enter 3500 and we'll just climb at 2000. I was reducing it there simply because I knew that we probably weren't going to get clearance quite yet. And we are over 300 knots, so we're doing really good on speed. And there goes the automatic setting of standard QNH and inches, whatever, inches of course in the US. Yeah, so there is a new one, FS HUD, out for ATC, which I haven't tried yet. Again, not great on the voice sets, but it does link up to Navigraph. I'd be curious to see some of its vectoring, those sorts of things. So now going to 127.5, and I think he's supposed to check in, but he hasn't hit 1 on that. He will check in eventually, but sometimes it does a thing where it takes forever. So. Okay, so we are on navigation already. We are inbound 20 miles out from Jax on a heading of about 100. And yeah, I'll stay on recording until we hit cruise of 35, and then I'll drop out for a little bit so that you don't have to watch the full thing. You can just get back for the arrival. So what the Airbus A320 freeware does really well, that a lot of freeware doesn't, as you can see, is keeps the power in. It has a good power setting. I mean, we're maintaining 95.3% throttle, and we have currently 89% N1. So for the climb, it's doing really well, and it obviously reflects in the way that it sounds. We all know that some of these freeware planes just immediately sort of the throttle comes back and they just sound really silly because you're climbing at 2,000 feet a minute through floatable, whatever, like we are now, 220, and you've got like 20% power in it. It just sounds ridiculous. There's no way that they should be holding that level of power setting. So it's always nice when you can find a good freeware plane that actually has the correct power settings. Of course, it's something the PMDG does automatically, just because of the way it works. So we're still on the climb out, but what we can do is brief the arrival here. That might be a useful thing to do. So we cross Doran, and then it's 22,000 feet or above at Birken, between 1422 at whatever that is, Kayed, whatever. 13 or above at Burnty, whatever. Blunty, I don't know, it's not, it always takes the vowels out of these waypoints, so it says BLNTY or something, I'm not sure what that waypoint is, but anyway, 13,000 or above there, 11,000 or above at Bigo, 10,000 at Cavalier, of course 250 knots, 7,000 feet at Casti, 6,000 at Cohen's, and then Cohen's we follow heading 010. We'll receive vectors 3,000 at Wasby, and then 1,900 at Biax, and then we will be on the ILS hopefully by Wasby anyway, so it won't matter. Elevation is 365 feet, so that doesn't matter really either. Missed approach procedure, we fly course 011 to 800 feet or above, so we fly runway heading. We make a right turn to Glenn's with a course of 051, 3000 or above. We're not too worried about that. And then we do a holding there, so if we need to do that, we'll just probably just take some vectors from Pro ATC. Not too worried about that. I'm just going to reduce our rate of climb to 1500, and I'm going to engage Mach hold now, and let's aim for like 0.75 Mach in the climb. Currently at 7.1, so that'll keep it busy. So yeah. So of course there's no real VNAV in these planes. There is a sort of VNAV, but it doesn't really help you on the climb. It doesn't really do a great job. On the descent, Tramp doesn't do a terrible job, but you really have to make sure everything is set properly, I would recommend. So here's how you do that. I didn't actually take my new vertical speed. There we go, now it did. Just noticed that, so we'll help it out with that. So here's how you want to check it out. To make sure that all your restrictions are in, you're going to go to your route tree view, you're going to go to your procedure, and you're going to go copy arrival procedure as text. And you're just going to paste it into a notepad, and then you're going to go down it on your route tree view. So route tree view plan tab, and we're going to go up here and look at these waypoints. This is actually on the wrong flight plan, I think, because it's using a Pro ATC flight plan, which is a bit of a problem. So that's not, well, it's not too much of a problem. Let me just double check. Let me have a look through this. Oh yeah. It wants to do all these stupid things. Let me just fix this. Fix this nonsense here. It is put in. Don't need all these. We need that, okay. So from Kellam to there. And yeah, you know what, actually I'm just going to reopen. I should have remembered that anyway, it's fine. It's okay. We're going to buff it now, and I'll just reconfigure it. There we go. Oh, actually, hold on. I need the 4th of July one. Yes, there we go. It's going to get a bit confused. Let's just fly from Kellen. And there we go. And then we can go back here and just drop our Okay, there we go. So basically what happened there, guys, I'll explain. Let me just reduce this vertical speed to like 800 because we're going to level out in 1,000 feet. We'll increase our Mach to 0.78 now because we are at cruise. There we go, so that'll just give us a nice slow level out. So basically Pro ATC makes its own flight plan with vector waypoints and things in it, which is not very useful for Tramp because I want the regular flight plan, not Pro ATCs in Tramp, and it just automatically imported Pro ATCs, which was fine, but it also kind of messed up my waypoint, so I just re-imported the old one and reconfigured it, so don't worry about that. Anyway, so where we were at was looking at this. So the first altitude restriction was 22,000 or above at Birken, or Perkin, whatever, and it's at 22,400, so that's actually fine. As you can see, we've leveled at 35,000 here, and we are at Mach 0.78, so perfect. 14 and 22 here at Cood, and that's at 17,400, that's fine. 13,000 at Bunty, or Blunty, whatever, and again that's fine, 13,600. Migo, yeah, 10,000 at Cavalier, let's got that in. Let's just look at 6,000 Coins, 6,000, and it's done that, perfect. And I'm just going to change Waspy, so they're doing snacks and drinks, so enjoy your snacks and drinks, people. Waspy needs to be 3,000 or above, and it's got it at 41. Since we're intercepting the ILS there, I'm going to change that to 3,000. We're going to get vectored by Pro ATC, but we'll do it anyway. So there we go. We've got to remember to follow that heading of 010 at Cohen. It's just as important on Vatsim as it is on Pro ATC, of course, if you want to be realistic about it. So we're now inbound, where are we? Still going to Kellen, so let's find Kellen, and we'll... There we go, and then we're going to Bijack. Okay, cool, we're back on. That is all fine, and the altitudes are all set. So yeah, there's not too much going on here. We're at 35,000 feet, as I say, Mach 0.78. Fuel flow, what is our fuel flow? 5,700 pounds an hour, so not too bad at all. We got a 457 knot ground speed, so pretty average. Seatbelt signs are off, and the snacks and drinks service is starting, so they're having fun back there. So okay, I'm going to pause it here because we have a little ways to go. Let's see here. 50 minutes and 389 miles, so we're probably not going to be descending for about another 200 miles. Currently over South Carolina, so I'll check back in at top of descent or something, and yeah, all should be good from here, and we can just enjoy the cruise. So I shall see you for hopefully what will be a good landing. Alright, we are now just inbound to Bijack. I'll keep checking in with you, keep you updated. Now just inbound to Bijack, so we have 130 mile direct, and we're still with Atlanta Center. So Atlanta Center just came online. We're listening to them on Vatsim, although they haven't sent us a contact me. I think probably we're just outside of their airspace, which is a little unfortunate, or maybe they're just picking up the traffic from the airport first and then they're going to pick us up, but yeah, a little unfortunate that it appears as though we've missed them, but oh well, we're still on Pro ATC, we're just listening in and just keeping an eye on this in case these guys here decide that they want to contact us. But yeah, nice to see them on. I mean, it's only got to be what, 8:30 AM or something over there right now, so yeah, pretty good, pretty cool stuff here, and just shows you, you know, Vatsim is definitely usually got something if you're looking to fly, even at this time. actually going to check in with this guy because it looks like from what I'm seeing, we actually are in his airspace according to SimReef.
American 1008, I sent you a PDC, let me know if you need a resend.
Atlanta, good morning, happy 4th. I'm not sure if we're in your airspace, looks like we might be. We're about 90 out from Bijack. This is United 289 and 350.
United 289 Atlanta Center, squawk 2066.
Alright, 2066, United 289. There we go for him. Hopefully that won't mess up Pro ATC, we'll see what happens.
United 289, radar contact 20 miles to the south of the Spartanburg. You are welcome.
Thanks. Alright, cool, yeah, I thought we were in his airspace. Basically looked at SimBrief's waypoint list and you can see what FIRs you're going to be going through. Looks like we are only in the Washington FIR at about, see here, Lowly or something on the Q60 airway, so yeah, we have a little ways to go until we're with Washington, and don't believe Memphis is online, not Washington, so yeah, we'll be off, not offline, but no ATC on but yeah, at least we're with him, and that's always a good way if you ever want to check if you're in a control of their space. I mean, don't go calling them up all the time. Usually they'll send you a contact me, and we didn't really need to contact him. I mean, we were at 350, no one's really around us, so you know, it's not like we're in a critical situation where we need to contact him. So he probably just kind of thought, well, we'll leave him alone. But it's always nice, you know, if you figure you're in it.
Bijack at maintain flight level 330.
Bijack add or maintain 330, United 289. Okay, that's a new one. Fair enough. I guess he's beginning our descent when we get to Bijack, or maybe it's a restriction with the FIRs. That is new. So we have 75 miles to go till Bijack, so we'll stay at 35 for now, but we need to remember to go down to 33. All right.
47.
Can do that.
Romeo. Good morning, Atlanta Center, American 968, instructed taxi.
Alright, Delta 1537 Atlanta Center, runway 27 right, taxi via moving that also.
Alright, we'll get back to you shortly then.
1661 Atlanta Center, squawk 2071.
Look at this guy.
071 for Southwest 1661.
What the hell?
And Delta 2080, climb maintain flight level 350.
350, Delta 2080.
Pretty busy over here. Pretty crazy, right? This time in the morning you get in full ATC.
Runway 27 right, behind you, Delta A321, passing at 70 now, taxi via Lima Intro.
Atlanta tends to be, out of all the airports in the US, if you can count on somewhere having ATC, Atlanta generally has a lot on, usually.
American 10 right, it's just Lima Intro.
It is a particularly busy area. Of course, the nice thing about Atlanta Center is, I guess if he's on, he covers quite a bit of airspace too, of course. So. Look, it's all the Brits and stuff coming out right now, checking in. All the Americans are still asleep, except this guy, except this controller.
United 1755 Atlanta Center, squawk 2023.
Alright, we need to obviously be at 330 by Bijack. So we can actually descend now because he said at or maintain, so as long as we maintain it, it's not a problem. So we'll go 33, 0.78 still, do that.
1755 is radar contact, 15 miles to the northeast of the Electric City VOR.
Alt
mode. 370, flight level 330 for crossing traffic.
And we can descend slowly, so there's no need to go mad plane. Yeah, cool, let's go. So we're now on the descent. Watch, I think PAC-X is probably going to think we're actually beginning our descent, which is not the case. but let's see. Anyway, we're on the way down. 3-3, nice and slow. Stop Tramp from doing that annoying thing with NVDA's progress bars.
Southwest 1661, the code is 2027, 2027.
2027 for Southwest 1621, or 1661.
That is a ridiculously deep voice, and a ridiculously horrible mic as well. I think he's about eating his mic.
Delta 2080, clear direct Spartanburg.
So yeah, we'll see how this works with with Pro ATC, because I've changed my squawk code, and I'm now using COM2 for Vatsim. So I want to see. I'll be curious to know. It's not the end of the world. If it doesn't work, we'll just fly in manually with no ATC. It doesn't matter. But I'll be curious to see when this guy gets rid of us, when Atlanta sends us to Unicom, which he will, because there's no DC center for the moment. Whether
Southwest 1661 is
we
radar
can
contact
just
16
check
miles
right back in with Pro ATC and say, hey, we're now here. Let's go. You know, let's see what happens. Who knows? But yeah, 320's performing for us today. It's doing a good job, very good job. If I was going to take a freeware aircraft into an event anywhere, not this is an event, but if it was, I would always take the Airbus. Great freeware plane if you want to take a freeware, pretty much. Very, very reliable. You can get a good sound pack. The fuel burn and everything is spot on. And yeah, it's just a really good aircraft. You get the 318, 19, 20 and 21 with it. He's back at Atlanta, I guess. You can hear the static on him.
Delta 1547 negative, that was the RVR readout.
It's the RVR readout, yeah, visibility. So yeah. This is incredible though, there's ATC on a Monday morning at 8:30. I guess it's because the 4th of July, so there's probably a lot of people at home, you know, with family or whatever today. Makes more sense. It's usually on a Monday morning, 8:30 AM in Atlanta. You're not going to get ATC, even though it is a good area for it. Right, almost 330 again, and we'll just maintain that. Like I said, I'm not sure why it has to be 330 at Bijack. We're not actually scheduled to descend at Bijack yet, so now our new cruise altitude is going to be 33. So yeah, but like I say, it may be a specific restriction with a flight from Atlanta to Washington where you have to be at a certain level. So we'll see. Alright, I'll be back. Just looking at Pro ATC here. Pro ATC is giving us an expectation that we're going to be landing runway 1 left via the Wiggle 2 arrival. It actually has the same transition, the Doran transition, but it's a different arrival that takes you to the same point and then vectors. So we'll see what happens. We'll probably do that if we can get back on with Pro ATC, but right now we're still with Atlanta. Alright, we are now over Jamestown, North Carolina, and Atlanta has just sent us to Unicom. So we're going to try and get back on with good old Pro ATC. See what we can do. Yeah, so we are inbound low A, which is the end of Atlanta's FIR. Right, so we should be on 135.35 apparently. Ham will need COM1 to be active. And he's yelling at us to climb and maintain 350. Let's see if we can do a request for a new altitude here, because yeah, I forgot to inform them of that. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that. Whoops. Other requests. Okay, well we're going to Washington. Well, look, it's kept up with where we're going. I'll give it that. Fair enough, you know. Yeah. Right, hold on. We need to check in with this guy. Check in. Yeah, which we're not. Proceed on course, yes, thank you. Right. Now let's bloody... Right. Other requests. Request altitude. We are not doing that. We can request 310. I can't request 330 because we're already at 330. I think that's part of the issue here. Stand by, let's see what I can do. I'll get back with you on this. Alright, we've been given clearance to go down to 310. So that's what we're going to do. That's what I could get us. That's fine. We're going to be descending... Oh yeah, he's also not happy with our squawk. I'll tell you that. That's alright, there we go, fixed that for him. Yeah, sorry about that. We had some other ATC that was better than you, dude. It was real ATC, but now they've left us all alone. We've only got you. Right, let's go plan, change our cruise altitude. It's got to be on an odd level. I know, dude, we're doing it. Better. Do that. Altitude.
VNAV on. VNAV on.
Just go like 800 feet a minute. That'll be fine. Okay. Slow it down just a tad to 0.77. Okay. So we are going to be doing this new arrival. 24 miles from Loe. Should be at 31, and then in about 70 miles we're going to be at top of descent. So we'll just stick at 3-1 for now. That'll do us just fine, and then we'll be on the way down into Washington. Alright, going over to another Washington control. We're going for the Wiggle 2 arrival now, as I said, but we're actually going to do runway 1 right. I've decided it's the longer runway, it's about 11,000 feet, and I'm going to request it from Pro ATC when we get a bit lower. So it's worth briefing this arrival quickly then. So cross Durham, as usual, 13,000 at Jones, that's a firm restriction. 13,000 there. Bivol, BT, Wiggle, and then heading 010 from Wiggle. So you can see it's a lot shorter arrival. That's probably why Pro ATC's assigned it, which is fair enough. Then 3,000 at Wasby, just like before. 1,900 there. So yeah, it's exactly the same. We get to exactly the same point. And yeah, I'm going to request 01 right, because I think it's just a longer runway, and it seems to be the one that they're landing on in the real world. So yeah, and we should be descending pretty shortly. Alright, down we go. I'm going to go heading speed 280 and just go IAS hold. And yeah, all good. Let's begin descent. We're actually, so I requested one ride and it gave us the Cavalier 4. So we're back where we started, guys. We're now back on the Cavalier 4. Which is, yeah, you know, let's see what happens. So we're still inbound Doran. Just got this arrival now. Let's do this. Dulles traffic, United 289er is out of flight level 295, descending Cavalier 4 arrival for runway 01 right. Right. I don't think. Yeah, Newark approach is on. Not anyone at Dulles, so we're just gonna have to roll with this. And yeah. Just going to try give tramp back this altitude.
VNAV on.
And it wants to increase our descent. That's fine. I'm going to take control of that for now, though I don't want you going ridiculous. We are going to speed up, of course, so I'm just going to pull
Speed brake arm.
a little bit of speed brakes. Not a hell of a lot, but just some. To just keep this trending down. There we go. So yeah, we are now on the Cavalier 4. And this whole thing is relevant. So cross Doran and then 22 or above at Perkin. Well, it's been nice using Pro ATC, I gotta say. It's a bit of a challenge using it with Vatsim, but it does at least keep you busy and make sure that you're doing realistic sort of procedures. Kind of feels like you've done a busy Vatsim flight, never mind just, you know, one centre. Right, we're heading 230. I think we can reduce our rate of descent here. I don't think we need to be anywhere near this. Still crossing Doran here, looking good, and then we're going inbound Perkin, where we need to be 220 or above, I believe. Yeah, 9 miles till Perkin. We can just go. Oops. Minus 1,500, not negative 15,000. Alright, we corrected that. Amusing. 290 knots still, yeah, that's okay. So 7 miles to Perkin. Keep it going down to 230, and then hopefully we will get further descent shortly. Perkin, yeah, 220. Don't really need the speed brakes right now, so I'll just arm those using the honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant that I have here, which is very nice. Hopefully it will work for us on landing with the reverse thrust and everything that I've been setting up recently. So I'm going to look here. Nearest plane is miles away. There's a whole bunch of planes, but alright, 16,000. That's good, let's go, and let's have a little look. So we're now inbound. It's good. Where we can be between 14 and 22. So not really in any major rush. Yeah. Keep this going. Doesn't look like we have any particular speed restrictions. I'm just going to give us a little bit of spoiler here, just to you know, it'll just help us out. So this lever here, if I push it all the way forward, of course, will give us full reverse, not full reverse, full spoiler, and I can feel that through my puck kicker in the chair. Obviously we don't need full spoiler, so I'm just pulling back a little bit. You could hear the power increase a little bit there. I may as well slow us to maybe like 270 here. Alright, we're going to 1875. Gotta have the US phraseology. Looking good. I might just increase our descent to like 1800. I'm just managing the vertical profile. I could probably let Tram do it, but I'm just more, I think I'm just going to do it myself, to be honest with you. We know what we're doing, we don't really need it. Cavalier 4 still, so we're good. Yeah, they actually tried to, when I got the approach clearance initially, they tried to give us runway 30, which is absolutely not correct. Right. Seatbelt signs on. Descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Recall. Shut. No.
Descent checklist. I've set 15,000 in there. Auto brakes are set. Going to be
completed. Checklist
cleared by the Cavalier 4. And yes. It'll be vectors ILS 1 right. Perfect. That works for me. So we are almost at good at 190, so we have met that restriction. We do really.
Descent to 14,000. Altimeter 3021.
Go. 14,000 feet now. So we're now in bound to Blunty, where we need to be 13,000 or above. 8.5 above that, so yeah, we'll keep that descent coming nicely. There's no speed restrictions as far as I can see. There goes the altimeter. So we are still on Unicom, and we want, yeah, no, that was already on, that's fine, so com receive both on, so we can hear what's going on. So yeah, 30,000 at Blunty, looking good, 16.7, still looking fine. Go right back up to the top, and there's a 3 miles here. Yeah, we're a little bit high then, but it was 13 or above, so we're looking good. I'll put 2600. TFM doesn't like it. Don't know why, keeps doing that. Better, stupid thing, yeah, there we go. Okay. 1-2000. Put a little bit more spoilers out. And we'll set 12,000 feet. Go. So we're now going bound to 11,000 or above at Migo, whatever. 5 miles, so yeah, we're looking fine. See how Pro ATC is always following the restrictions, so this is 11,000 or above, so it's told us to descend to 12,000. Perhaps in the real world they would have just told you descend by the star, I don't know how they usually do it into IAD, but at least it's following the correct altitude restrictions, unlike something like PF3 which would just bust through them, probably just tell us to descend to God knows what altitude by now. I'm going to set the speed to 250 now, just to help it slow down in time. Yeah, you can hear those throttles come right back. Descent checklist is all completed. We're just waiting for FSFO to tune the ILS. Hopefully it will do. I'm just going to...
ILS.
Oh, thanks. Okay, it just literally did it right then and there. 110.75 with a course 010. As long as that stays on. Containing 12,000. Stow those spoilers. Maintaining 250 now, that'll do nicely for me. Auto brakes can stay on 2, it's a relatively short runway, we don't need to go silly. Okay, we're already there. Already doing that, 250, go down negative 1500. Just give it some spoilers. So we're now inbound Cavalier. We need to be at 10,000, we're actually a little bit high. So I'm going to go negative 2,500. 7,000 feet. There we go. Not too bad. Just about 1,000 feet too high. Let's get those spoilers out. There we go. Bring the speed bank to about 240. Speed is trending downwards, it's just a little bit higher. Keep those spoilers out, we should be alright. Now inbound Casti.
Passing 10,000 feet.
On landing lights. So we're inbound Casti, and there need to be 7,000 by that, which we're definitely going to be, so I'll just reduce that to like 1,600 feet a minute or something. It's fine. Showing we are 36 miles out. Let's do this. Dollars traffic, United 289er is out of 8,500 feet, about 35 miles out from the field, going to be vectoring ourselves for ILS 01, right? Dollars. Alright, no one really around, but we'll let them know that. And we are going to be kind of vectoring ourselves, although it's obviously going to be the... Oh, there we go, there's some other guy landing ahead of us. Not bad, not bad. So we're now nice and we've got ourselves down, we've caught up a bit with the vertical profile. So we're 7 miles out from Casti. We've got 7,600, so we're just going to level at 7,000 for like 5-10 miles, that's fine. We were a bit high, so just reduce that a bit. So yeah, we were a bit high, so it was kind of necessary to bomb it down. Now we're just a little bit low, so we're all good. We'll arm the spoilers for now. Gonna level here in a moment. At 7, and yeah, then we should be getting vectors. We got to remember. Let's have a little look. So after Casti, it's Cohen's, and then after Cohen's we fly heading 010, and we will get vectors from Cohen's. Alright, 7,000 feet, and we are leveling out. I don't really care if you want to go 230 knots plane. In fact, that suits me, so we'll let you do that. Alright, leveling out at 7,000 till we get further, which we don't quite need yet. Right, Ascot's on final. He says, just go like negative 1,000 FPM there. Anything major. Let's have a little look. Is Cohen's, which is heading of 20, and then we're just going to keep an eye on this. Yep, so we needed to be 6,000 at Cohen's. Was there a speed restriction? No, there wasn't. But we will just put we'll just put 210 knots in here. It's a good vectoring speed. Be fine. Be leveling at 6 here shortly anyway. So we're a little bit fast, but I'm not too worried. So we're going to keep an eye on this here. When Tramp chooses the next waypoint, we are going to fly that heading at 010. Alright, they're already giving us that, so we'll do that. 3,500. And increase that to 1,500 feet a minute. So they were perfect. That was perfect from Pro ATC. Doing 228. That's not bad. Let's help it out with a bit of spoiler.
Glide slope live.
Yeah.
NAV1 is glide slope.
Heading 220. It's coming back. We can actually do flaps in a minute.
5,341 feet ASL. Minus 1,499 heading 5. Altitude please right.
See where this guy is. He's landing 18 miles ahead of us maybe. Oh no, it's this Ascot guy. Yeah, he's already landed 23 miles ahead of us. Alright, 335, cleared ILS approach. Hit approach mode. Didn't like that, did it? It was weird.
Approach hold on, approach hold on.
Yeah. Oh, I know why. Sorry.
Approach hold on.
Stupid. Wasn't in the right mode. Oh, I also didn't set TFM's thing. Forgot about that too. See if that works.
1,524 below.
Yeah, there we go.
Heading select off.
There's the Loke, bang on.
1,443 below.
Right, we'll do flaps 1. We'll take spoilers armed.
Right 33. 1,352 below. Right 32. 1,280 below.
Take SB 200.
1,505 29.
And it looks like we are locking onto
990.
the localizer.
26.
There we go, and we are coming up on the glide.
737.
Very nice from Pro ATC. Take that all day long. Very good vectoring, just a quick left turn and onto it, bang. Probably could have got it without Pro ATC possibly, but you know, just nice to have that there. We're inbound Waxib, 8 miles.
593 below. Right 6.
Dulles traffic, United 289 there is just about to intercept the 01 right localizer, about 8 miles from Waxen and
Right 1.
about 15 miles from the field.
345 below. Left 1.
Alright, whatever.
254 below. Left 2.
He's doing that.
158.
180.
99 below. Left 2.
And we should
Glide
be
slope is alive.
intercepting
Nav
that glide
on.
slope. There we go. Very nice. Plan M2 can go off, and we are descending with the glide slope. We can
137 above. Left 2.
probably pull just the slightest bit of spoiler there
Left 2.
to keep it under control.
117 above. Left 2.
Get him to contact the tower.
114 above.
Right.
Left 2.
Yeah, we'll try and release. Alright, flaps 2.
Final approach speed.
210
altimeter
above.
30.21. Clear to land runway 01. Right. United 289.
229 above. Left 2.
Traffic on 430.
227 above. Left 2. 222 above.
My headset.
166 above.
I think he died at the worst time, I guess. My headset, but it's alright, we're back. Gear down.
72 above. Left 2.
Recheck.
Flaps to position 3.
74 above. Left 2.
Airspeed 160
above. Left 2.
for now. Through 1900 feet.
32 above.
Very good. We can arm those spoilers
5 above.
and go final approach speed of 145 roughly, let's say. Actually, winds are 27 at 9, so we'll go an approach speed of 150. I'll do us.
67 above.
We can go flaps full.
61 above. Left 2.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist.
Very good.
Deep brake. Armed. Landing gear.
Flaps are full.
Flap.
Gears down.
Set. Checklist complete.
And very good.
91 above.
Dulles traffic, United 289 is 1200 landing 01 right ILS.
81 above. Left 1.
Very good. Whilst it's doing that, what we can quickly do is look at our
71 above.
stand and we are going to go to gate Charlie 11 where the real one parks. Make sure that altimeter is set, and we're going to enable TFM's GPWS because I'm not sure that we're going to get Airbus call-outs here.
76 above. Center.
Washington National Traffic, Delta 77, 10 mile 5, full runway 1 visual.
69 above.
That is a different Washington, that's DCA, so ignore that one, he's fine.
67.
Right, we are...
Center.
Traffic, Delta 433, short final runway 1.
They're on runway 1.
Center.
Right, we are bang on here.
64 above. Center.
Yeah, perfect from the Airbus in terms of maintaining the glide. 400. Alright.
300. Center. 58 above. Center.
Minimum
200.
Continue.
57
I
above.
haven't heard from Pack X in a while. I'm not sure what happened to Pack X, to be honest with you. Flight attendants lost the patience. Right, here we go.
VNAV on, LNAV on,
50,
approach hold on.
40, 30, 20.
Green Berry go.
Down we go.
Reverse thrust.
Reverse thrust.
124 knots. 109 knots.
100 knot.
Check.
94 knots.
80 knots.
59 knots.
Gate left, ground on 121.
65 knots.
60 knots.
Reverse is out.
Manual braking. Reverse idle.
Manual braking.
46 knots.
Ignore that.
26 knots.
Autopilot master off. Nav lock off.
Autopilot can go off.
APU starting.
Should we do that? Flaps can come up.
Strobe off. Landing off.
And a warm welcome down to...
PACX beginning the after landing announcement shortly.
Oh, there you go.
9:45
APU at 100%. FX Tranquil 1. Calculator.
We're going to go...
Contact flight skip to flight plan. Skip to here submenu. Execute next. Calculator FX.
Sorry. We've got to go over to the stand.
Pulse. Sound on. It's lost.
until the aircraft has
Oh,
come
no.
to a
Lockheed Mark,
complete
Lockheed Mark.
stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items
Very
can be
good.
used during the flight. We thank you for flying with us.
Pack X did catch up, okay. Right, and we can set parking brakes, engine 1
Number 1 ignition. S.
and engine 2 can
Seatbelt
go bye-bye, seatbelt signs can go off.
Traffic Delta 433, vacated one.
Fuel pump off.
Dulles traffic, United 289.
Traffic Delta 1770 for final for runway 1.
Oh, I didn't transmit, did it?
FX Tranquil V-pilot, Global V-pilot. Tap control. Edit blank. Dot C-O-M space 2.
Oh, we're not on COM 2, that's
6
why.
minutes and 55 seconds. COM 2 narrative.
There we go. Dulles traffic, United 289 is clear of 01 right, and over at stand Charlie 11. Alright,
Edit blank.
we'll leave it on COM 2. It doesn't matter about Pro ATC anymore. Did its job, that's it. I just need to find out, so that actually worked really well, and Pro ATC did a great job of keeping up with us after the Senna. I just need to find a way, maybe there's, I think maybe you can set a joystick button to switch between transmission on COM 1 and COM 2. That would be super useful, so I can just press it to flick between the two instead of keep typing .com 1, .com 2, you know, because I have to transmit on Unicom, but also I have to set it back to COM 1 so that we can transmit to the ATC on Pro ATC, but a little bit complicated. Let's open the doors. They are deboarding. What was our landing report? Let's see. Negative 159, 13 feet deviation on the centre line and 1600 feet, so a little bit past the touchdown zone by a couple hundred feet. 13 feet deviation, not bad at all. Yeah, that concurs. Negative 159 FPM. I tell you what, for freeware, I will take that any day of the week. That was a beautiful landing. Really, really happy with that. Beautiful approach actually as well. We got the glide slope and low perfectly. Obviously there was a vector, so they literally just turned us left straight onto it. None of that messing around like usual. Yeah, and welcome down. How much fuel do we have? We landed with 8,000 pounds of fuel, which is perfect. Because I was a little bit concerned that unscheduled descent to 310 just before top of descent was going to take a bit more fuel, but it didn't. So yeah. That was a really, really nice flight. I'm super happy with that. Yeah, Pro ATC performed exactly like I wanted it to, and I got the hours on Vatsim, of course. And we still transmitted on Unicom. Very, very important if you do anything like that you still transmit on Unicom all your key calls, what you're doing. You can't just you know, fly around following some other ATC's
1.6 nautical miles, 120
instructions.
degrees.
There we go, Forest, Virginia. So yeah, I think it's, let's have a look. What's the time here in Washington now? What am I looking for? Real time, there it is. 9:49 AM is when we have landed. So yeah, he's a national traffic. I think he's at DCA maybe, or some other GA field. Anyway, they're still deboarding. They're going to be deboarding for a while. Shall we see what? Shall we just end them? Save the flight report, and then we can go view records. UAL 289er. What do we do? Hit that button? Oh no, that was... Oh, here we go. View online, that's what I want. This is a much more nicer thing. Let's see what they said about it. So you can share it on Facebook. A320 KTL guide. So supposed to depart at 12:25. We departed at 12:28, so 3 minutes late. We were supposed to arrive at 13:41. This is obviously Zulu, I guess. We arrived 13:45. Sorry, 4 minutes late. They were 94% satisfied. Okay, we'll take that. And it was a -164 according to PAC-X. 127 block time. Notable event: soft landing. Hey guys, we've got a soft landing. Oh, they'll definitely be recommending our airline. Apparently, oh, that was it. That's, oh yeah, that's what we get. Okay, well, we've got David Schneider, Henry Ilson, Rita Lopez, Dana Edwards, David Jackson. Right, I'm not going to read 100 and whatever passengers, but that's what they thought about us. I guess that's, you know, 94%. We'll take that. We were 4 minutes late, so if we'd have been bang on time, I guess we would have got you know, got better rating. But yeah, this A320 is safely here at Washington Dulles for the 4th of July celebrations. That's how you fly freeware. A little bit more complex than the pay, where you really have to know what you're doing. We pretty much handled vertical speed ourselves the whole way down. I didn't need to do that, but we were getting so many altitude instructions, I just thought, you know what, we'll just take it ourselves and handle the vertical speed, and we were able to successfully do it. Literally the easiest way is to have your notepad file open with your procedure and just keep checking each waypoint. Okay, where are we supposed to be? Where are we at? Let's see, do we need to descend more? Do we need to descend less? But it's definitely a busy thing to do if you've got ATC and Vatsim and whatever going at the same time. In this case it was Pro ATC, which I was pleased with Pro ATC as well. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. This was a great flight to do. We even got some ATC, wished Atlanta Center. We also got to see him and wish him a happy 4th, which is nice to get some bit of ATC. Shame we missed him by about 20 minutes. If he'd been online, we could have got him as our departure, but nevertheless, that's okay. Alright, we'll see you in the next video, and for those in the US, have a happy 4th.